What's going on, people? Back at y'all again with another Best Life Moment with Coach P. Cooks. What I want to talk about in this Best Life Moment is let's talk about reality. The reality is everybody ain't gonna get that big house on the hill. You know, the reality is everybody ain't gonna have that bank account overflowing. The reality is every relationship is not gonna make it to that happily ever after. You know, you see what I'm getting at? The reality is, you know, life may not go the way that you want it to go or expect it to go, but that doesn't mean that you can't live your best life. That's why I always tell people not to, you know, tie your happiness up in people, places, things, money, or whatever, you know, material stuff, temporal stuff, because if you associate your esteem or any of that, you know, to that type of stuff, when that stuff is gone, your self-esteem is going to be low. Your outlook of yourself is going to be low. Chances are you'll find yourself in a depressed state and you'll find yourself stuck in life. So the reality is you can still live your best life without that house on the hill, you know, that overflowing bank account, you know, that fairy tale relationship that so many people dream of. You know, you can still live your best life with that when you find happiness within. You know, I always say we look for happiness in all the wrong places. We look for happiness, we look for joy, we look for peace and all of that in external stimuli. And when we can't find that external stimuli, we don't find any of the happiness, the peace, the joy that we seek in life. You know, so we have to start looking within, you know, because everything we need to survive in life is already in us. You know, we just have to keep proper perspective on our relationships, on the stuff we accumulate in life, and a whole lot of other stuff. Because the older I get, I realize that stuff don't really make me happy. Because just as I age, I understand stuff ages too. You know, just as, you know, I age, relationships age, you know. And sometimes stuff has to get old and it's time for you to move on, you know, from certain things, you know. So with that being said, you know, do a reality check and see if you living in reality or you living in Wonderland, or you somewhere in between there, you know. Because once we figure that out, where we really living, are we living in reality? Are we living in a fairy tale? Or are we in that gray area stuck between reality and fairy tale, the Wonderland? Once we figure out where we are in life, I think we can begin to piece together what really matters in life. You know, so find out what your perspectives is, you know, on where you are. Prioritize, you know, what you consider to be important, and in doing so, realize that everything is not an emergency. That's one thing I had to learn for myself. You know, when issues arose, I used to always think that everything was a sense of emergency. Attack, attack, attack. You know, but it's not that way. Yeah, you have to deal with it, but every situation and circumstance that arises in life is not an emergency situation. So you have to pick and choose what your priorities are going to be. Once you pick and choose what your priorities are going to be, then you can have proper perspective. Once you understand what makes you happy, then you can have proper perspective on reality. You can have a better understanding of where you are in life, you know, what you value in life. And that's one thing I hope that people have taken this past year or so to realize what really matters in life. Because remember, for a whole year, a lot of us dealt with a lot of stuff, dealt without a lot of stuff that we thought was important. And guess what? We're still here. You know, matter of fact, some of that stuff we used to think was important really doesn't even matter to us no more. So I hope we took some time over this past year or so to come up with some perspective so we could prioritize what's really necessary in life, what makes us happy, what brings us peace, what brings us joy in life, and without all of that fluff and filler stuff that we have become accustomed to giving us a good sense of esteem about ourselves, a good sense of you know, reality. You know, without that stuff, how do you feel without that stuff now? So with that being said, hope you enjoy this best life moment with Coach P Cooks. Peace, and I'm out.